Welcome to Dreams and Secrets. This story takes us to Moreland Road in Bath, England, where ordinary families face big changes. Jason, Nina, Maggie and Sam all have their own struggles: love, work, family and money. Each one hides dreams, and each one carries secrets that could change their lives forever. As their letters cross paths, their choices shape their futures in unexpected ways. Now let's dive into the story. Moreland Road is a street in Bath, England. One Friday evening in March at 6 o'clock, people were returning from work as usual. The children were already back from school. "From number 12, a woman's voice called out. "Jason, are you doing your homework? You must finish it before you go to see Maria tonight." There was no reply. Jason was listening to music and didn't hear his mother. At number 48, David Sen was not home yet, but his wife was. Nina Sen, 32 years old, felt very tired after a long week at the bank. She had something to tell her husband, but she didn't know how to say it. Across the road at number 75, Maggie sat on the sofa in her living room. She was lost in her thoughts. They were pleasant ones, because a smile was on her face. At number 56 lived Sam Davies. He was walking slowly home, looking worried. In fact, he always seemed worried. His problem was money. He never had enough to cover everything. How could he tell his wife that they would not have a holiday this year? It was, once again, just an ordinary Friday. Chapter 1. Jason's Plans. "Jason, did you hear me? Are you studying?" Jason's mum got no reply from his room. She decided to check. She waited outside his door for a moment, then walked in. Jason was on the floor, looking at some photos. "What are you doing, Jason?" she asked. Jason turned off his music and looked up. "Do you remember this?" He gave her a picture. "It's me when I was 5, and Maria. She was really pretty well. She still is. That was my birthday party, right?" "Yes, I think so," his mum answered. "It was the last birthday before Dad left," Jason said. "I remember it clearly." "The party or the day your dad left?" she asked. "Both," Jason replied. "In my mind, they were the same day." "They weren't, but it was a long time ago," his mum said. She went to the window so Jason couldn't see her face. Her husband, Simon, had left their house in Moreland Road one morning 12 years earlier. He wrote a note and left it on the kitchen table, then disappeared. For 12 years there were no letters, no birthday cards for Jason. Then last week there was a phone call. She asked Simon many times, "Why did you go?" He wanted to meet her. She said no. But inside she wanted to say yes. Turning away from the window, she said, "Jason, what about your homework? Why are you looking at old pictures? I want to find all the ones of Maria. I'll take them with me to London when I go to art school." He smiled at a funny photo of Maria when she was 11. "It's too early to think about that, Jason," his mum said. "You're not going until autumn, and you don't know if they'll accept you. They will, I'm sure. When I visited 2 weeks ago, they told me, 'Your work is very good. We really like your ideas.'" "I know, but... Anyway, where are you and Maria going tonight?" she asked. "To Broad Street Bar. A great reggae band is playing," Jason said. "Have you told her about leaving for art school in September?" "Yes, she's fine with it, I think. I can come home on weekends," he replied. "You won't," his mum began, then stopped. I know what you're thinking, Jason said. But we're different. We'll always stay together. His mother left the room and went downstairs. Maybe Jason and Maria are different, she thought. They've known each other since they were small. But I thought Simon and I were different too, and look what happened. Mum, Jason said, coming into the kitchen. I'm going to Maria's. I'll eat at her place, okay? Have you finished your work? She asked. Yes, stop asking. See you later. About 12, okay? Jason left before she could say more. 5 minutes later, the phone rang. Jason's mum jumped up, looked at it, and thought, Simon. She answered quietly. Hello. Oh, hi, Mrs. Campbell. Is Jason there? Maria! Jason's mum almost shouted. No, sorry, he's gone. He's on his way to your house. Oh no, Maria said. Is something wrong? Jason's mum asked. No, yes, I can't go out with him tonight, but it's fine. I'll tell him when he gets here, Maria replied. Bye. Jason's mum sat down and drank a little red wine. She thought about Maria's call. Her voice sounded strange. She hoped nothing was wrong. Chapter 2. Nina's New Offer. Nina Sen's week at the bank had finished. She was at home at 48, Moreland Road, with her 6-year-old son, Max. He was eating sausages and chips. I got 100% in maths today, he said. Really, that's wonderful, Nina replied. You're good with numbers, just like me. Is Dad still at work? Max asked. Yes, but he'll be back soon. He's free tonight, Nina said. David Sen was the head cook at Julie's, a fancy French restaurant. He often worked late hours and came home very late. Oh, good. Mum, can Adam come with us to football tomorrow? Asked Max. Of course. Do you want to watch some TV after dinner? Nina wanted a little time to think before David arrived. But she didn't have long. 10 minutes later, she heard David come in. Hi, Nina. David kissed her. Where's Max? Watching TV, Nina answered. How was the restaurant today? Good. Do you know Dan, the new helper in the kitchen? One of the cooks was ill, so Dan did some cooking. And he was amazing. His grandmother was French, and he remembers some of her dishes. He's got many ideas for the new menu. Daddy, Daddy! Max shouted, running into the room. Hello, Tiger, David said. Let's read a story, then you can tell me everything about your day. Father and son went out of the kitchen. Nina listened to Max's happy voice. He was very glad to see his dad. I'm lucky, Nina thought. So why do I want things to change? She made dinner for herself and David. Are you ready to eat? Nina asked when David came back. There's something I need to tell you. That sounds serious. Is it important? He asked. The director from head office came today. He said I was manager of the month, Nina told him. Well done. Do you get extra pay? David laughed. In a way, yes. He offered me the manager's job in Newcastle. That's a big bank 5 times larger than this one. Nina stopped and looked at David. So yes, it means more money. David said at first, then after a pause. And what did you answer? I said I was interested, Nina replied. But I also said I wanted to talk to you. What do you think? My first thought, David said, getting some water, is well done. You deserve it. Second thought, what about my job? Third thought, Newcastle is far from here. I thought about that too, Nina said. She put her arms around him. And Max? He likes his school and friends. And my parents live in Exeter. That's only 100 kilometers away, so we see them often, David said. They could move with us. Your mum was born near Newcastle, wasn't she? Nina tried to give good reasons. She really wanted the job. Yes, but they're happy in Exeter with their friends. Moving at their age is not easy, David replied. Forget them for now. What about you? Nina asked. You know I love my work at Julie's, David said. The newspaper gave us a good review. Things are exciting now, and I don't want to leave. Of course, I wish the restaurant was mine, but we don't have the money to buy it, so... I want to say yes, David, Nina said. This could be the start of something big. Maybe one day I could be an area manager. Then we could buy 2 restaurants and... Slow down, David smiled. We haven't decided yet. When would the job begin? In 3 months, Nina said. David, we're still young. It could be exciting to start fresh in a new city. True, David said slowly. When do you have to give them an answer? They want me to decide by early next week, Nina replied. Say yes then, David said quickly. What? Nina looked at him, surprised. Well, we can't buy Julie's, even though I'd love that, David said. But I can find another good restaurant in Newcastle. And your job matters. You love it. Oh, David, you're amazing. I'm so glad I married you. Nina laughed. I'll write to head office tonight before you change your mind. David held her close and kissed her. I hope this is the right choice, he said. Anyway, I'm going to take a hot bath and think. Then I need to call Mum and Dad. I haven't spoken to them all week. Don't tell them about Newcastle yet, Nina said. Let's keep it secret for the weekend. Nina sat down to write her letter. Then she walked to the corner of Moreland Road and put it in the post box. She listened to the soft plop as it dropped inside. We've made our choice, and nothing can change it now, she thought. Chapter 3. Supper at Maggie's. Maggie sat on the sofa with a photo in her hand. She was remembering her trip to Chile last month. She and her friend Belen spent 3 weeks there, walking in the Andes Mountains. It was a wonderful holiday. Well, maybe it wasn't as wonderful for Belen as it was for me, Maggie thought. She looked at the photo of a happy group of young travelers. They looked cheerful because the walk-in for that day was finished. They were also smiling because that was the day they saw the great bird. A condor, the famous bird of the Andes, flew above them for hours. Maggie felt sad when it finally disappeared. It was a very important bird for the Inca people, said Xavier, their guide. On many old Inca buildings you can see a special cross. It has 3 levels, like this. Xavier drew the cross on the ground. For the Incas, each level was a world, the underworld, this world, and the upper world. Each had its own animal. The upper world had the condor. So these birds were very special to them. Everyone liked Xavier's stories. Belen liked Xavier even more. From the first day, Maggie saw that Belen was interested in him. He was handsome and friendly with everyone. Belen often talked to Maggie about him, what he said, how she felt. This is just like when we were at school, Maggie thought. I hope I don't have to hear this all trip. At the end of the first week, Maggie went for a walk alone after dinner. She didn't go far. She just wanted some quiet time under the stars. She turned and saw Xavier behind her. "Are you all right, Maggie?" he asked. "Fine," she said. "It's beautiful here. I love the mountains. They're so different from home." "I was born near here, so I love them too," Xavier said. They sat and talked for a long time. She learned about his life and about ordinary life in Chile. From then, Maggie and Xavier had a close friendship. They often spoke after dinner, and soon it became more than just friends. Of course, Belen noticed. "It's fine, Maggie, really," Belen said. "I don't mind." But Maggie could tell she did, and sometimes Belen gave her cold looks. Still, by the end of the holiday, things were fine between them. Belen even said she wanted to travel with Maggie again. Maggie slowly got up from the sofa. She enjoyed thinking about Chile, but she had to cook dinner. Belen was coming that evening. She went to the kitchen and began making lasagna. "Oh, I forgot the tomatoes," she thought. She took her purse and went quickly to the shop at the end of the street. While she was out, the phone rang. Nobody answered, so the answer phone began. "Hi, this is Maggie. Sorry I can't take your call. Please leave your name and number, and I'll call you back later. Thanks." There was a sound, but no message was left. When Maggie returned with the tomatoes, she saw the message light. "Probably Belen," she thought. "Maybe she'll be late." She played the message, but it was silent. "Strange," she thought. She finished the lasagna, then took a glass of red wine to the living room. She checked the phone. "Telephone number 073682 called today at 19 out hours." Maggie wrote it down. "I don't know anyone with that number," she thought. Then she heard the door. It was Belen. "Hi, Maggie," Belen said, kissing her. Something smells delicious." They went to the living room, and Maggie gave her a glass of wine. "It's nice to see you," Maggie said. "You look great. I love your hair." "Thanks. And how's Xavier?" Belen asked. "Any news from him?" "Yes, last week he sent me an email. He was in an internet cafe in Santiago," Maggie said. "Great. I thought it was just a holiday romance, but I'm happy for you." "Really, I am," Belen said quickly when she saw Maggie's look. "He says he's coming to England soon, maybe next week," Maggie said. "Really, so soon? It must be love." Belen smiled. "Well, I'm not sure," Maggie laughed. "He didn't mention love. He only said he's coming and has written me a letter to explain everything." "Everything about what?" Belen asked. "I don't know. The email was a bit strange. Look, read it yourself." Maggie handed it to her. Belen read, "Hi, Condor Girl. I'm coming to England very soon. I need to leave Chile for a while. Have written to tell you everything. Can't say much now. Can't wait to see you. Much love. Xavier." Chapter 4. Sam's Money Worries. Sam reached his house at number 56. The lights were on in every room, and he saw his 16-year-old daughter, Emma, at her computer in her bedroom. He went inside and put down his bag. Great, he thought. No work again until Monday. Sam worked for the local paper, the Bath Chronicle. He was a reporter, but not an important one. He liked the job well enough, but the pay was low. When he started there 20 years ago, he had big plans. He wanted to stay for a few years, then move to London to work at a major paper. But the years passed, and he never did. Now Sam mostly wrote about ordinary life in Bath, and sometimes a bigger story. Then the whole staff worked together, and it felt exciting again for a short time. "Hannah, where are you?" Sam called. "Upstairs with Alicia," came the reply. Sam went up and found his wife Hannah in the bathroom. Their 2-year-old Alicia was in the bath, playing with 10 yellow toy ducks. "Hello, my 2 favorite girls," Sam said, and kissed them. "I heard that, Dad," Emma shouted from her room. "What about me? I thought I was your favorite." "That was yesterday when you made me tea," Sam said as he stepped into Emma's room. She was looking at something online. "I'm searching for information about Chile for my geography teacher," Emma said, turning to kiss her dad. "Ask Maggie. She just came back from Chile," Sam suggested. "No, it's fine. The internet is faster. Anyway, she might not know much about the Mapuche people." "Dad, you know I really like geography, right?" Emma asked. "Yes," Sam replied. "Well, our teacher wants to take us to Norway after school ends this summer. She told us today. It sounds amazing. Can I go?" Emma looked at him, full of excitement. "It will cost a lot, won't it?" Sam asked. "I'm not sure," Emma said, though she knew it was expensive. "I still have my birthday money. We can use that." "Yes, but that won't cover a trip to Norway. I'll speak to your mum about it," Sam said, leaving the room with money still on his mind. He went into Alicia's room. Hannah sat on the bed while Alicia was nearly asleep. Sam kissed his little girl goodnight. "How much does Emma need for Norway?" he asked as he and Hannah went downstairs. "Quite a lot, around £700, and she has to give her teacher an answer on Monday," Hannah said. "She really wants to go, Sam." "I know, I'll find the money somehow." Sam stepped out into the garden for a cigarette. Hannah sat at the kitchen table with the paper. When he came back in, Hannah said, "I could get a job, Sam, but I'd like to stay home with Alicia a bit longer." "I know, and that's fine," Sam answered. "I'll ask Jeremy to lend us some money. I don't like it, but I've done it before." Jeremy, his older brother, had a well-paid job in computers. He never worried about money. He was strong. Some people thought he was hard. Every job he got was better than the one before. He didn't like life to be too easy. His wife was the same. They both worked and played hard. "It's good they don't have kids," Sam thought. "They wouldn't have time for them." Jeremy never understood how costly children were, and Sam hated borrowing from him. He always felt Jeremy looked down on him. "Why don't you get a better job, Sam?" Jeremy often asked. "You're smart. You could do anything." "I like my job," Sam always replied. "I don't want to work anywhere else." It wasn't really true, but he never admitted it to Jeremy. That Friday evening, Sam and Jeremy had the same talk on the phone, but then Jeremy changed it. "I'm sorry, Sam, but I'm not lending you money this time," Jeremy said. "What?" Sam asked. "No, not this time. You need to think about your job. Find work with better pay. You must change, Sam. Each time you need money, you come to me. It's too easy." Jeremy stopped. Sam hung up. His head hurt. He couldn't believe it. His own brother refused to help. His own brother spoke to him like that, making him feel small. Sam went back to the kitchen. "What did he say?" Hannah asked. "Fine," Sam said. "He'll lend us the money, so Emma can go to Norway." "I know it's hard for you to ask, so thank you, my love," Hannah said, kissing him. Sam didn't meet her eyes. He went to find Emma. Chapter 5. Jason and Maria. Maria opened her front door and let Jason in. "Hi," Jason said, and kissed her. Maria held his face in her hands and looked at him for a few seconds. "What are you staring at? Do I have something on my face?" Jason asked, kissing her again. "No, I just wanted to look at you." "You've got a lovely face," Maria answered, walking into the living room. "Are you all right?" Jason asked, following her. "I haven't seen you much this week." "I'm fine," Maria said. Then she turned and looked at Jason. She saw her best friend, someone she loved, but she also knew she was about to change everything. "Jason, sit down. I need to talk," Maria said, taking his hand. "There's no easy way to say this, but I've met someone else." "What do you mean, someone else?" Jason asked. For a moment, he didn't understand. Then his face turned pale. "When I was in France with my family at New Year, I met a man and—" She stopped for a second, then said, "I think I love him." "You told me you loved me," Jason said loudly. "I did, I still do, but maybe like a brother. My love for Francois is different." Maria looked at him. "Oh, Jason, I'm sorry. I never wanted this to happen." "You don't love him," Jason said. "It was just a holiday thing. How can you love someone else? Have you spoken to him since? Seen him? Does he even say he loves you?" "Yes, he does," Maria replied. "We've emailed every day, and last week he came to London for a few days. I saw him then when I stayed with my sister." "You told me your sister wanted time with you," Jason said. "So that was a lie, wasn't it?" Jason stared at her, unable to believe it. "When school finishes in summer, I'm moving to Paris to study." "Francois is studying there now," Maria said, not meeting his eyes. "You've planned it all, haven't you? When did you decide this?" Jason asked. Maria didn't answer. Jason stood, put on his coat and said, "I'm leaving. I can't stay here. It hurts to even look at you." "Will you be okay?" Maria asked. "I don't know, and it's not your problem anymore, is it?" Jason replied angrily. "Jason, please don't go. We need to talk more," Maria said. But Jason had already run out the door. He ran until he couldn't anymore. The anger was gone, replaced by sadness. Slowly he began walking home, hoping his mother wasn't there. He didn't want to talk. When he reached his house, the lights were on. He tried to open the door quietly, but it made noise. "Is that you, Jason?" his mother called from the living room. "Yes," he answered. She came to the doorway. "Why are you back so early?" "I'll explain tomorrow," Jason said. "I'm going to my room." "Please come into the living room first," she said. "Do I have to?" Jason asked. "Yes," she replied. Jason followed her in and saw a man sitting on the sofa. "Jason," his mother said, "this is your father, Simon." Jason looked at him in silence. Simon also said nothing, unable to meet Jason's eyes. After a minute, Jason spoke coldly. "So where have you been for the last 12 years?" Simon said, "It's hard, but let me explain what happened." Jason didn't want to hear. For the second time that day, he ran out of a house. He went to the river and sat staring at the water. Everything felt broken. Maria loved someone else. A stranger. His father was in his house. Jason felt he was losing his mind. It was cold and raining, but he stayed by the river. For a moment he thought about jumping in and letting the water take him. Who would care? No one, he thought. But deep down, he didn't believe that. He reached into his pocket, found some cigarettes, and lit one. Then he stood up and left the river. For hours he wandered the streets of Bath, soaked through. At about 3 in the morning, he was outside the city's mail depot. Vans were arriving with bags of letters. Jason stood watching the work, forgetting his problems for a while. A man shouted, "Hey mate, you all right? Want a job or something?" Jason said nothing. From inside, a voice called, "Harry, tea's ready. Leave those bags and come in." The gate opened for another van. Jason slipped in behind it. The guard didn't notice. He was reading his paper. The driver left the van and went inside, leaving Jason alone. Wanting to escape the rain, Jason climbed into the van and sat among the mail bags. It was dry and warm. He smoked his last cigarette and closed his eyes. He woke later to the sound of laughter from the building. At first, he didn't know where he was. Then he remembered. He thought he must go home and face his mother and his father. He was angry at Simon, but still wanted answers. "And I can't let them catch me here," he thought. He slipped out when the gate opened again. Someone shouted, "Hey you, stop!" But Jason ran on. His head hurt, and his wet clothes were heavy. The only thing that gave him hope was leaving for art school in autumn. He needed to hear from the London Art School soon. Chapter 6. Nina and David talk. David was lying in the bath. He thought about Nina's new job and the move to Newcastle. He loved working at Julie's and didn't want to leave. Max also enjoyed his school. But Nina mattered too, and David knew she was excellent at her work. He got out of the bath and put on jeans and a blue jumper. He went into Max's room. His son was asleep. David sat on the bed for a while, kissed him, turned off the light, and left quietly. "I'm just going to call Mum and Dad," David said to Nina. "Okay, don't tell them about my new job," Nina reminded him. "No, I won't," David answered. He phoned his father. "Hi, Dad. Are you well?" "Fine," his father replied. "Your mother and I had a lovely walk by the sea today, and we wanted to tell you there's something in the post for your birthday on Tuesday. It's a surprise, but I hope you'll like it." "That sounds nice," said David. "Can't you give me a clue?" "No, you'll have to wait. Hold on, your mother wants to speak to you," his father said. "Joan," he called. "It's David on the phone." "Coming," David heard his mother answer. Then he caught her whisper to his father. "Have you told him?" And his father reply, "No." "Hello, David," his mother said. "Will we see you soon? Can you visit next weekend?" "Yes, on Sunday," David said. "I'm working Saturday, but Sunday is fine." "Oh, good," his mother said happily. "We want to see our lovely grandson again. We're lucky you live nearby, so we see him often." David spoke politely, but he kept thinking, how can we tell them we're moving Max to Newcastle? I'll give the phone back to your father now. He wants to tell you about the garden, she said. See you all next Sunday. Bye, Mum, David said. Then he listened while his father talked excitedly about his garden plans. His father was happiest when working outdoors. Before ending the call, his father added, I hope our birthday surprise is just what you want. I'll call as soon as it arrives, David replied. Bye for now, Dad. David put down the phone and went to the living room. Everything all right? Nina asked. Yes, fine, David said. I told them we'll visit next Sunday. That's okay, isn't it? Of course. Nina noticed the look on his face. Mum said how much she loves having Max nearby, David said. I felt guilty. They're getting older, and they'll be so sad when we tell them about Newcastle. Oh, David, I know, but they'll want us to do what's right for us as a family, Nina said. But now I'm not sure if it is the right choice, David said quietly. They talked for hours, asking the same questions. Is moving to Newcastle the best thing? Should we ask your parents to come too? Should we forget the new job and stay in Bath? Then a new idea came. Maybe David and Max could stay in Bath while Nina worked in Newcastle during the week and came home on weekends. But how could David manage both Max and the restaurant? In the end, they stayed with their first plan. The whole family would move to Newcastle in June. It'll be all right, won't it? Nina asked. I hope so, love, David replied. I really hope so. Chapter 7. Maggie's Visitor. Balin handed Xavier's email back to Maggie. That's very strange, she said. Maybe he's in trouble. Perhaps the police are looking for him. No, not Xavier, Maggie replied. Why not, Maggie? Balin asked. We were only in Chile for 3 weeks. How well do we really know him? Has he sent you any other emails or letters? Yes, one earlier, but it didn't say anything about coming to England, Maggie said. Well, there's nothing you can do, just wait for the letter and hope it's nothing bad, Balin answered. I just remembered something. Do you mind if I make a quick call? Maggie asked. Someone phoned me just before you came, but they didn't leave a message. Go ahead, said Balin. I'll wait in the kitchen. No, it's fine. Stay here. I'll be quick. Then we can eat, Maggie said. She dialed the mobile number. Hello, said a man with a foreign accent. Oh, hello. You called Bath 726549 earlier. Who are you? Maggie asked. Sorry, the man replied. Wrong number. Oh, okay, goodbye, Maggie said, and hung up. Wrong number, she told Balin. But he sounded Spanish. From Chile, maybe? Balin asked. Could be, said Maggie. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's eat. The two women ate lasagne. They looked through holiday photos and laughed at their memories. Then a sound came from the living room, making them both jump. It's fine, Maggie laughed. It's just the window. It always makes noise in the wind. But then came another sound different this time. Someone was at the door. What a bad time to visit, said Maggie. She opened the door and saw a man. Yes? She asked. Can I help you? Are you Maggie Cox? The man said. Yes, Maggie answered. And who? She didn't finish. The man stepped inside and closed the door. Excuse me, Maggie said angrily. "What are you doing? Who are you?" Balin heard her voice and came from the kitchen. "Sit down, both of you," the man said quietly. "I don't want to hurt you." Maggie and Balin sat together on the sofa. "I'm looking for your friend Xavier Santos," the man said. "He's not here," they both said quickly. "Who are you?" Maggie asked. "Let's just say I'm a friend of the Santos family," the man replied. "I know he's in England, and I need to speak to him." "I haven't heard from him since we left Chile," Maggie said fast. "Really?" The man walked around the room, looking at postcards and a phone bill. Then Maggie remembered Xavier's email lying on the table. Too late, the man saw it. "So this is from another Xavier, is it? Where's the letter he mentioned?" he asked. "I haven't got it yet," Maggie said. She was frightened, and she knew Balin was too. She didn't understand why the man was there. "How did you know my address?" Maggie asked. "I found it at Xavier's house," the man said. "And your photo. Did you enjoy my country, Maggie?" Maggie ignored his question. She asked, though part of her didn't want to know, "Why are you looking for Xavier?" "He has something I want," the man said. "Maybe he gave it to you to bring back here." He moved close to her. "He didn't give me anything," Maggie replied. "Maybe not. But I know Xavier will come here soon, and I'll be waiting," the man said. He stared at her. "You made a mistake, Maggie, choosing Xavier. He's not right for a girl like you." He stepped back. "Remember, I'll return." When he left, Maggie and Balin jumped up. "You must call the police, Maggie," Balin said. "This is terrible. You're not safe here. Come stay with me." Maggie phoned and told the police everything. She said, "I won't stay here tonight. I'll stay with a friend. You can reach me on my mobile 00776567831. They asked her to come to the station the next day. Maggie packed some things to leave with Balin. "I've been so foolish," Maggie said. "I thought Xavier was kind. I believed he loved me, but he was just playing." They called a taxi and left Moreland Road half an hour later. Chapter 8. What Sam Didn't Know. How will I find £700? Sam thought that Friday evening. And why didn't I tell Hannah about Jeremy? But now it was too late. Emma was going to Norway. "That's amazing, Dad. Thank you," she said, kissing him. Seeing her so happy made Sam feel glad. "I know what I'll do," Sam thought sadly. "On Monday morning, I'll take some of the jewelry my mother gave me before she died. There's a jeweler's shop on my way to work. I'm sure they'll want diamond rings." Sam hated the idea of selling the jewelry. He knew his mother had wanted Emma to have it. "Maybe my brother is right," he thought. "I do need a job that pays more. I don't know how much longer we can live like this." That Friday morning, 600 kilometers away in Edinburgh, something important happened that could change Sam's life. But Sam knew nothing about it. A man and a woman arrived at the office of the lawyers, Barrett, Grab, and Lennox. An assistant took them upstairs to Frank Barrett's office. The room was very old-fashioned, with heavy wooden furniture and hundreds of law books on the shelves. "Good morning," said Mr. Barrett. "Paul and Sonia Cooper, isn't it? Please sit down." "Thank you," said Sonia, sitting beside her brother Paul. "I'm sorry about your father," Mr. Barrett said. "We looked after his business here for many years." "Thank you," Paul replied. "He was 91 when he died. But now we need to know what he decided about his money and property. Paul, Sonia said, that sounds awful. It's fine, said Mr. Barrett. Let me read you his will. He didn't always enjoy this part. Sometimes families were unhappy with what they heard. I leave my house and everything in it to my 2 children, Paul and Sonia. My money I give to my grandchildren, Robert, Amy and Charlie. Paul and Sonia smiled, but then Mr. Barrett went on. Not all of it. Their smiles faded. I also want to give some money to a special person, a true friend, Samuel Davies. About 30 years ago, when my wife died, Sam lived next door. He was young, but he spent many hours with me. He visited most days and listened when I spoke about her. He was a real friend. I've never forgotten his kindness. I want to thank him by leaving him £50,000. When Mr. Barrett finished, the office was silent. Then Paul said, Samuel Davies is lucky £50,000 just for talking to Dad. I don't remember him, Sonia said. But that's what Dad wanted, and it was his money, so we can't change it. But how much will be left for the grandchildren, Paul's kids? I'm not sure yet, Mr. Barrett said. We'll have to see, but first we must contact Samuel Davies. It may take time. The address your father gave might be out of date, but I'll let you know once I find him. And if you don't? Sonia asked. Oh, we'll find him, Mr. Barrett said. It may take months, but we usually do. Paul and Sonia left quietly. Mr. Barrett gave papers to his secretary, who wrote a letter to Samuel Davies. At lunchtime, she went to the post office. As she dropped it into the box, she thought, Lucky Samuel Davies! What will he do with £50,000? Meanwhile, back in Bath that Friday night, Sam knew nothing about Mr. Cooper or the money. He went to bed, unhappy. Should he really sell his mother's jewelry? And what job could he find at his age that paid more? Chapter 9. Fire. At 3:30 in the morning on Saturday, 15th March, a small fire began in a van behind the mail depot in Bath. At first, nobody noticed, because everyone was inside the building. Then someone smelled smoke and shouted, Fire! Another person ran outside and saw the flames. Someone else quickly called the fire service. They tried to stop the fire themselves, but couldn't. The fire service arrived fast and put it out. But 2 large mail bags were destroyed. Inside those bags were 4 very important letters for people living in Moreland Road, St. Martin's School of Art, Charing Cross Road, London W18XA, Jason Campbell, 12 Moreland Road, Bath BA65LZ, 13th March. Dear Jason, thank you for visiting us last week. We were impressed with your work and believe you are the kind of student who will do well at our college. We are pleased to offer you a place starting in September. As you know, many students want to study here, so it is important you reply to us. Please tick the correct box and return this letter to the above address by 25th of March. We look forward to hearing from you. Yours sincerely, Neil Parker, Course Tutor. Yes, I accept a place on the art course, starting in September. No, I cannot take a place on the art course, starting in September. 120 Wharf Road, Exeter, 13th March. Dear David, first of all, happy birthday. We hope you have a wonderful day. We have been thinking about the future, and we want to use some of our money. We have enough for ourselves, so we've decided to spend it. We know how hard you work at Julie's and that you've always wanted it to be yours. So we bought it for you. We met Jean-Pierre last month and agreed on a price. Yesterday we were told it is now ours, actually, yours. We know you'll make the restaurant even better. Can we come for dinner on your first big night? Lots of love to our wonderful son, Mum and Dad. Santiago, 6th of March. Dear Maggie, I hope you received my email, and I hope this letter won't make you upset. I'm coming to England because I must leave Chile. I haven't done anything wrong, but my brother has. He is involved with dangerous people. Now he has disappeared. Nobody knows where he is. His friends think I have his papers, but I don't. So I want to escape these problems and come to England. Maybe I can find a job and stay for a while. I also want to see you. I feel that we are at the start of something special. I'll be with you very soon. Please believe me when I say I have done nothing wrong. Please email me and tell me it's okay for me to come. Lots of love and kisses. Xavier, Barrett, Grab and Lennox, 34 Queen Street, Edinburgh EH2 3XJ, Samuel Davies, 56 Moreland Road, Bath BA6 5LX, 14th March. Dear Mr. Davies, we are writing about Mr. Thomas Cooper, who has sadly passed away. Mr. Cooper remembered you in his will, and we kindly ask that you contact this office as soon as possible. Yours sincerely, Frank Barrett. Conclusion. And what became of Jason, David, and Nina, Maggie, and the Davies family? Jason went to stay with his grandmother for 2 weeks. She cared for him, and he slowly started to feel better. When he returned to Bath, he was disappointed that no letter had come from the art school in London. He called them, but it was too late. They told him he could join the following year. Jason stayed in Bath for a year and did different jobs. His father, Simon, sometimes visited the house, and Jason began, little by little, to get to know him. Nina's letter reached the bank's head office safely. David never received the one from his parents, but on his birthday they phoned and told him about the restaurant. It was the best birthday gift he could imagine. Nina chose to work in Newcastle and return home on weekends. They were fortunate because David's niece started studying at Bath University and stayed with them to care for Max. Still, life was not easy. David wanted Nina to leave the bank and work with him in the restaurant, but she stayed in Newcastle for 18 months. After that, she took a job as area manager in Bristol, a city only 25 kilometers from Bath. Maggie never heard again from the Chilean man. She never heard from Xavier either, and he never came to England. She was very unhappy. She had truly believed she and Xavier were right for each other. It was difficult for her. She wanted to think he was a good man, but her friends told her to forget him. Sometimes she thought about going back to Chile to search for him. In the end, she didn't. She decided it must have been only a holiday romance for him. Sam sold his mother's jewelry and gave the money to Emma. A few days later, he had another talk with his brother. Then he chose to leave his job at the newspaper and start writing a book. He worked at home, so he could also care for Alicia. At first it felt strange, but he soon began to enjoy his new routine. Writing was exciting, and Alicia was an easy child. Hannah found a good job in a shop, which she liked. They still didn't have much money, but 3 months later, Sam received a letter from Barrett, Grab, and Lennox. From then on, life started to look much brighter for Sam and his family. If you enjoyed this story, Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment to tell us which character's journey touched you the most. And stay tuned for more stories full of hope, challenges, and new beginnings.